Hey, welcome back to Sports Cards Analysis. I'm JT with another case break simulation. Today we got 2023 Topps Archive. Here's a couple pictures of the things that you should expect to see. These are from Topps.com or Beckett.com actually. And you might notice that I've stopped doing the reviews on the products and the descriptions. If you want me to keep doing that, let me know. I just figure you want me to get right down to it and give you the prices and the information that you want to buy into these breaks. Uh, Also, I know this product already came out, but Topps didn't release the checklist until after the product was released, so I kind of have to deal with that. Little disclaimer here, I'm going to give you a bunch of advice, but I'm not responsible for the decisions you make. So let's talk about buying into breaks. If you want to buy into breaks, but you don't want to consider the price, instead you want to consider the probability of getting a hit. Well, what you want to do is you want to take the cost of the case, which is $1,275, and you want to distribute it across all cards, the entire checklist, and not just the checklist, but the print runs as well. And so what you wind up doing is you separate these cards by team and by how many cards per team, and then you start to tease out the probability that you'll get a hit. So instead of paying for the value of the team by the players, you're paying by what you might actually walk away with. And in this case, we want to look at the total number of autograph cards. And in 2023 Topps Archives, the Mets have the most autographs. And you might look at this and you might see that some are out of order. Like the Orioles have 38 unique cards. St. Louis has 33, but some of these have 27. The reason why the unique autographs are out of order, and I go over this every video, is because the print runs are different. Some of the print runs are higher or lower. So if the print run isn't listed, I just fill in a number for that, and I just make it the same for all the unlisted print runs, or serial number, 1 out of 10 or whatever. So if it's not listed, I usually just give it a number, a nice round number that fits into my simulation. So even if it's wrong for all the teams equally. So let's just say that the Mets have 4,476, give or take some margin of error. If you want to pay for these teams based on the probability that you'll hit an autograph, you could pay around $107 for the Mets. Now, that doesn't mean that you're getting the best autos in the set. That just means that you're giving yourself the highest probability. I've tested this. In Gold Label, the Blue Jays were the top probable team to get a hit for an autograph. Bought into one break, got a Blue Jay auto. That's just how this is broken down. It gives you the best probability. So these are the prices, 1 through 10 by team, for if you want to purchase by the probability that you'll hit an autograph. There's 11 through 20, and then 21 through 30, and then we start to get into these dual teams, so I won't even go that far. Now I can go over all of the inserts, parallels, and everything like that, but let's just go over the total cards. So which teams have the most cards? The Yankees, they have the most cards. Now that includes serial numbered cards, that includes variations, that includes parallels, autos, and inserts. So that's everything. So if you want to pay for the highest probability of walking away with the hugest stack of cards, the largest stack of cards by team, that would be the Yankees, especially if that break also ships base. A lot of breakers don't ship base. You want to pay around $72. That is, you're paying $72 for the highest probability of walking away with the most cards, not just the autographs, but cards total. So there's 1 through 10. There's 11 through 20. And if I'm not explaining this well, just hit me up in the comments and let me know, hey, I don't really understand what you're saying, and I will fix that, okay? All right, so there's based on probability, but you might be saying, what about the strength of the checklist? The strength is we calculate prices based on eBay and check out my cards. I do a little bit of web scraping there, and then I've developed an algorithm that determines which players have the highest strength, and then I put that into this algorithm to determine which teams have the highest strength of the checklist by either autograph or just cards in general. So I have this scale 1 through 5, 1 being that this is all based on ROI. So if you were to get into this break and you were to sell all of the cards that you hit, what would be the best ROI? Or what would be your ROI? And so going off of that, 5 being high profit, you're talking your Otanis, your Babe Ruth cut autos and things like Mike Trout. And then 1, you might be holding on to those cards. Those are like those rookies that basically hit the majors for like 1 day and then you never see them again. They're kind of just like losses, basically. So how is this product actually distributed? It's pretty good. There's not as many fives as you'd hope to see, but Archives is like that. Archives does a lot of fan favorites. They do a lot of rookies. They kind of saturate the checklist a little bit. So 2 through 4, that's actually pretty good. This is decently high for this product. So for autograph value, it's about a 2.3. So this is the total product, I believe, for the entire checklist. But when we look at just the autos, it's kind of weak. There's a lot of weaker autos that don't give you a high ROI. While it's got decent product strength, about mid-tier product strength, and that's because they do put a lot of, veterans and Hall of Famers in here. So keep that in mind. Now, I do 200 case breaks. I simulate 200. I don't do them. I don't have the money for that. But I simulate 200 case breaks, and then I break down what is the ROI per team for all the cards. Like if I were to sell every single card that I hit, including base, what would my ROI be across 200 cases? So keep this in mind when you're buying into breaks, that on average, I'm making about $75 for the Yankees, $72.50 for the Angels, and then it really drops off after that, $40 for the Braves. And I'll show you why that is. Now, I also break down the strength of the checklist for each team. So it's saying here in the full product, the Yankees actually have the strongest checklist. But if you want the strength of the base set, the Braves have the best strength of the base set. If you want autos, let's see who's got the strongest auto checklist. It's the Mets, actually. They have the strongest for the autographs. But we want to look at just this right here. This tells you my average ROI over 200 cases. Now, remember, this is average of 200. So it's whatever my ROI is divided by 200. That's because we don't always hit high-value cards every case. And I'll show you an example of that. But here's 1 through 10. There is 11 through 20. There's 21 through 30. And we'll stop right there. And obviously, there's some, like the Guardians are going to be in here, I guess, a couple times. I don't know why they are. But you can kind of just average those out. And then the Indians might be in here as well. So it's just because Archives includes a lot of older players. But let's look at that not divided by 200, but actually when we hit, what's the average ROI? So looking at this, the Angels have some decent autographs in this set, and we'll go over which players have autographs in this in a minute. But when it hits when I did 200 simulations, so 200 case breaks, the Angels only hit 53 times, but when they do hit, boy, oh boy, do I get a nice ROI. I get over almost $1,500 every time they hit. But again, that's autographs. That's the hit type autograph, and that's the Angels. Okay, so every time they hit, which is only 53 cases out of 200, so 1/4 of the time, I get a pretty good ROI. That's probably because it's Ohtani or Trout. Let's just be honest with who it is. And then we can go down from there. So all you need to do when you're looking at this chart here, as I go through the pages, is you're looking at the hit type, you're looking at the team, and you're looking at how many times it hit. So you want to get a high probability autograph. Well, when I ran, regardless of what the print runs are, when I ran 200 case break simulations, 160 times, so more than 3/4 of the time, I hit a Yankees autograph. Doesn't mean it's great, but my ROI was pretty good, almost $500 each time. So that's not divided by 200, that's divided by 160. So that means that each time I hit, I got that about that much ROI. So here I'll just go through a couple of these pages and show you, okay, now we're talking variations. I hit some variations on the Angels, got some good ROI there, but I only hit about half the time. So we just keep going through this, and you just take screenshots of this and look at it when you're making your purchase. You want to see a high number on this side, and you want to see a high number in this column. So 161 times I got Mets autographs, and then I got about a $120 ROI. So also you might want to think about how much you're paying for these teams when you say, oh, well, look at this team here has such a great parallel set. I don't know who would say that, the Phillies. But you say like, well, the ROI is only $75 and it only hit half the time, less than half the time. So just take your screenshots and look at that. Number of cases it hit. This is a 200 case break simulation. Look at this. The Angels insert hits almost every single time. So that's pretty cool. And then when we start getting down to the base here, you'll see that they hit every single case. That's typical. Why wouldn't it be? So just see like right here, Angels base, 200 cases. Of course you're going to get that. So there you go. That's about 11, 12. Look at 12 pages there to show you that. So that is the breakdown of ROI when it hits and how many cases that hits in. Keep that in mind. Take screenshots. Now let's look at the players. So when we really want to know like which Yankees have autographs. Let's just sort this by the number of autographs. Number of autograph cards, and we can even just look here, Yankees. So you can see that, like, this guy here, I don't even know who that is. Rob Guidry, or Guidry, I don't know how to say it. Greg Wessert. See, these aren't the best guys, but they have a lot of cards here. So, you get down to Volpe, he's got 685 autographs in this set, or whatever, based on my assessment. Some of these are guesses. Mariano Rivera, when you get to the really good Yankee guys here, they don't have as many cards. So keep that in mind. But let's get rid of that and just kind of look at everybody. So if we want to look at like the total number of all cards, it looks like Rauschman has the most, and then Michael Harris. So this is the order of guys when you have the most. Who has the most autographs in this set by player? Tovar, then Brennan, Stevenson. 685 is kind of the standard here, I think, for how many autographs there are per player. All right. Now let's just look at the total checklist breakdown. Total number of cards. Yankees have the most. There's 1 through 10. There's 11 through 20, 21 through 30. All right, so that's just the total number of cards by team. We kind of already went over that. If you're looking for one of ones, there's 608 one of ones in this set. Okay, I'm not going to really go over that table too much. If you are chasing one of ones, here's the teams you want to look for. The Yankees have the most, then the Mets. Then we go down from there. Don't even need to go to really page 2 on that. If you're chasing one of ones, it's really not the product for chasing one of ones. They're very hard to get, but I'll show why in a second. So I do 200 case breaks, but I also show you one case. Here's one case right here. It's case number 200. It's the last case, and it's kind of just showing you the types of cards you can expect. So if we look at like the autographs, if we sort this alphabetically, we get, I think, a couple autographs per case. Let me just go like this, and we get 20 autographs. So probably one per box or two. I don't know how many cases or how many boxes per case, but the quality of them, it definitely varies. These fan favorite ones tend to be lower value, lower ROI. So keep that in mind. We did get a Freddie Freeman auto, and it's out of 100. Topps Hit Stars autographs, that's pretty good. But really, overall, I would say that the autograph return is super low and kind of weak. Michael Harris is pretty good. So, keep that in mind when you're buying archives. You kind of sometimes will hit pretty trash cards. So in that one case, here's the breakdown of teams I got. So even though the Yankees have the most cards in the set, in that 200th case, I got the most Cardinals. So there's the order of cards in the one case. I did get one of one. So again, if you're chasing those one of one cards, not a good product for it. Oh, actually, I got one in one case. So let's see how many I got in 200. So in 200 cases, I got 53. So 1/4, 1/4 of the time, you'll hit a one of one. So keep that in mind. You will hit a one of one every 4 cases. So, and I think these simulations are pretty accurate. So there's that representation. Got 53 one of ones. Here's a breakdown for the first 20 cases in my simulation of ROI by team. If this is helpful, take screenshots and figure out how the ROI varies by team by break. It's not always the same teams who hit all the time. You notice that because if you buy into breaks, obviously you know that they vary. So there are your differences. I'll just scroll through this. You can take a look. The Yankees hit a lot. Angels, St. Louis, and sometimes other teams have a high ROI. But, the Braves over there, there you go. You get some Orioles action, some Phillies action. That's pretty cool. So there you go. There's the ROI returns by the first 20 breaks. And then the simulation results for all 200 cases, if you're interested. The Cardinals still hit the most cards for all 200 cases. 200 cases, okay? This is the breakdown. So this should really tell you, really how this should shake out if you were to buy into a multitude of breaks. For one of ones, I got these teams the most. Out of those 53 one of ones, I really hit on the Mets and the A's more than any other team. So we'll zoom past that. And then a breakdown by card type. Let's see. So for the autographs, we got the most Mets. There they are. 1 through probably 10 or 11. And then for base cards, for inserts, we can sort by inserts. If you're really interested in the inserts, there's the order there. If you're interested in parallels, there's the order there. And if you're interested in those variation cards, there's the order there. And that's it. That's 2023 Topps Archive. Thanks for watching, and hit the comment section. Let me know what you want to see. This is all ROI. Thanks. Bye.